Good afternoon, everybody. David Shuster here on Take Action News. So glad to have you with us on our special inauguration edition of the show. Daniel Marins is our executive producer. Rich Webster is our vice president in charge of board operations. A lot to talk about this particular hour. And I want to start by bringing in a longtime friend of mine. John Feheery is a former spokesperson for Dennis Hastert, who was the Republican Speaker of the House. John, welcome to Take Action News. So great to have you on the program.
Mr. Schuster, how the heck are you?
I'm doing fine. As long as we don't talk about that one golf round that we had many years ago with Rick DeBell, I think we'll be fine today.
Yeah, let's keep off golf. I haven't played in a while, and let's just keep off it.
So, John, I got to ask you, there's a lot of talk about the Hastert rule and exactly whether John Boehner should follow it or not. If you can just sort of set it up, what was the Hastert rule? How did you guys come up with it? How was it implemented when you were working for Denny Hastert when he was the House Speaker?
Well, keep in mind that we had George W. Bush as our president, and so it was really more of a guideline. And the idea being that if you can't please a majority of your majority in scheduling votes, and if you continually kind of upset the majority of your majority, you're not going to have a long tenure as Speaker of the House. Because when you're Speaker of the House, you're elected by your colleagues in the House, and so that was kind of the guideline that we tried to make sure that we would get more than half the Republicans to vote on pieces of legislation because we thought it was, showed that the House was in firm Republican control and that, our position was secure. Now, I understand that this was a kind of a moment in time in our guidelines to legislate. And it was different, it's different now with Boehner and it was different with Pelosi. Pelosi would schedule votes and then vote against those, the votes that she scheduled. Especially to keep war funding going, for example. And Tip O'Neill, in the first 2 years of the Reagan presidency, he had basically lost control of the House with the boll weevils, and so he scheduled things and let Reagan kind of get most of his economic agenda through. So every speaker has a different approach to doing this. I think that for John Boehner, he had some tough decisions to make because he does want to please the majority of his majority, but on many of these compromises it gets kind of ugly. And if for many of these Republicans, they would vote no, but hope that it passes, and because they're worried about primaries. So I think that these are very complicated things, and but the principle remains that you need to communicate with your members and make sure that you understand where they're going and what they want.
So fair to say that that given we have a Democratic president, a Republican Speaker of the House, Republican House, Democratic Senate, that obviously the circumstance is very different than when you were working with Denny Hastert. And having said that, would it be your advice, and I think you've said a couple of things publicly, that John Boehner should not have a strict adherence to the Hastert rule, that he should pick and choose?
Well, he's got, there are times when you get stuff from the Senate, for example, with this tax cuts, the fiscal cliff, where he had not much of a choice because he had promised McConnell that he would schedule a vote, and he had to schedule a vote. And, frankly, from my perspective, it was a pretty good victory for Republicans, even though there was kind of confusion on the Republican side. If you get 98% of the Bush tax cuts made permanent, from a policy standpoint, that's a huge victory. But that being said, he's got to be careful because if he had 12 members vote against him for Speaker, which was basically an insurrection, and he's got to make sure that he doesn't have too many more insurrections. If he does that, he's not going to be Speaker for long.